Hello, today I'm going to introduce to you the Smartstart Classware. So, what is Smartstart Classware? It is a 5-level interactive course for primary school students. It's designed to be used in the classroom on interactive whiteboards or interactive TVs or with a projector and a laptop. It's a supplementary course and it's designed to complement a wide range of textbooks. So your students will study partly with a textbook, but they'll also study using the classware to supplement what they learn. And what it does is it prepares students for the Cambridge Young Learners tests. Those are starters, movers, and flyers. So you can see that levels 1 and 2 match to the starters level of the Cambridge Young Learners tests. Levels 3 and 4 match to the movers, and level 5 matches to flyers. The idea is that the course provides the students with all of the vocabulary, the language, and also the test-taking skills that they need to achieve a high score in the Cambridge Young Learners tests. So let's look at the structure of the course. Now, each level is divided into various themes which mirror the Young Learners topics. So, for example, in level 1, we have topics such as family, toys. In our course, we call them themes. And in one level, we have 10 themes. And that means we have around about 60 lessons. We also have an introduction theme called Hello that has 4 lessons. So, let's look at one theme. And here's the example. We have the family theme. And you can see that there are 6 lessons. The first 4 lessons introduce new vocab and grammar structures. So they introduce new language. The last 2 lessons, lessons 5 and 6, are to review the language and also for young learners test practice. So we have questions and activities that match the format of the Cambridge Young Learners tests. Let's look at a lesson. Now, what you can see here is the control panel for the lesson, and this is how we move between the different parts of the lesson. So let's see. We start off with a warm-up activity, and this is the Smartstart song. Now, it's the same in the level, throughout the level, but if you change to the next level, the song changes as well. The second part of the lesson is where we present. We have 3 parts to this. We have the theme introduction, where we introduce the topic. We have vocabulary presentation, and we also have grammar presentation as well. So, after presentation, we have practice. And this is where the students have a very controlled activity to give them the opportunity to practice the new language. And finally, after practice, we have production. And production is where we usually have a team game or fun activity to give students the opportunity to use the language in a natural way. And you can see one more P on the control panel. And that P stands for phonics. And with phonics, we give the students the opportunity to learn about the sounds of the English language. Okay, so that is the structure of the lesson. Let's look at some of the different kinds of activities we have. So, new vocab and grammar structures are presented in a very clear an effective format. So you can see we have the vocabulary here. Usually there are around about 5 or 6 vocab items per lesson. Students can see the picture, they can see the word, and they can also hear the word and hear a sentence related to that word. Grammar structures are presented using a very easy dialogue or monologue. We have fun activities and team games for the practice and production. So you can see we have lots of activities that include dragging and dropping, and we have coloring activities, and we also have lots of fun team games as well. We also have lots of songs in Smartstart. We have the level songs that I mentioned earlier, and we also have a song for each theme. So if you're learning about school, you'll also have a new song about school. So I mentioned earlier about phonics. These are available as an extra resource. We have phonics. We have something called sight words, which focuses on the most common English words. And we also have specific spelling and reading activities as well. And you'll find these all the way through the course. Now I'm going to talk about something quite interesting. We have something called the digital homework activities. Now, every student who learns using the Smartstart Classware will receive a code to an app that they can use on their smartphone or iPad. And basically, everything they learn in class, they can learn at home as well. There are a lot of activities that match the content of the classroom lessons for them to do at home. So, you can see we have lots of different activities. We have videos, we have listen and find, listen and spell, tag, we have grammar games, and we also have the songs. Students will also be able to see the phonics activities as well. You can see here we have some fun games for students to do at home to practice the language they learned in the classroom. We also have videos of the lessons they learn in the classroom. So if students need a little refresher, they can watch a native speaker teach that lesson again. So, for the Smartstart Classware, we have 2 versions. We have an online version, which you can find on i-course.vn. And we also have an offline version that we can install on a computer in the classroom. And you can see that there. Okay, thanks for listening. If you have any questions, you can contact this email address here. Now I'm going to introduce iCourse.vn. So, iCourse.vn is our platform to give you everything you need to be able to teach the classware. And I'm going to go through the website and all the different functions that are available for you. So, the first step obviously is to log in to the website. And what this brings us to is our weekly schedule. On the weekly schedule, you can see all of your classes and lessons for the whole week. Now, if we click into one of those classes, we can see our individual class schedule. And this provides us with a lot of useful information. So, for example, we can see our teacher name. That's very useful. We can see our TA name. We can see the time of the lesson. We can see how many students there are in the class. And we can see what our learning materials are. So, If you're teaching the Classware, it will say the Classware, but I know a lot of teachers have to teach different books. So it will tell you what learning materials you'll be using. If you are lucky and you are teaching the Classware, there will be a direct link to the Classware lesson for that class. So from there, we can also go into the digital classroom resources. This is our direct way to go into the Classware. So when you open it up, you can see all of the different themes. But when we go into the class, the reason for doing that is we want you to give your students homework and check on their progress. So we can go in and we can see who in our class has been doing their homework. So you can see your whole class, you can see their progress per lesson. You can see their number of stars they receive for their homework. Remember, this is on the Digital Homework Activities app. So it's linked to iCourse.vn. You can also see how your students are doing at different activities. So you can possibly work out that, oh, my students are struggling with listening, or my students are finding spelling very difficult. And you can go through and you can see the kind of average scores for each activity. Through iCourse, we can also check the attendance for the class, and we can very easily mark who is absent from the class. We can also do regular student evaluation. So this means that I think once a semester, we can go through and we can give our students marks for different categories. For example, homework completion, participation in class activities, and learning retention. We can also automatically add remarks for the students. And what happens is these will be sent automatically to the students' parents. We also have extra resources on iCourse. We will have teachers' resources, including teachers' guides and links to extra materials. We will also provide the Phonics here as an extra resource as well. So that's just a brief introduction to iCourse.vn. If you have any questions, please contact this email address here. Thank you. Now, as a teacher for DTP, you have certain responsibilities when you go to the school. And I'm going to talk about some do's and don'ts, some general regulations for you to follow as a teacher working for DTP in public schools. So, let's get started. The first thing you must do is keep in regular contact with DTP Academic Officers, or AOs as they're called. Give them feedback on your classes. Ask for support when necessary. If you're not sure of anything, please ask. It's important to have a good relationship with your AO and keep in regular communication. Next, prepare your lessons carefully before teaching. When you go to class, you need to know what you are going to teach. You need to know how the lesson works. Don't go to class and suddenly make it up on your own. Prepare your lessons carefully. Have some backup activities planned just in case you need them. What happens if you finish the lesson 5 minutes early? What do you do? Always have something in your locker that you can do when you need it. Next, try to be at the school at least 10 minutes before the class starts so that you can check that any resources you need are ready. For example, the computer, the screen, and make sure that you're ready as well. You know that the worst thing that you can do is to be running late and rush into the class right as soon as the bell rings. It's not a good start to your lesson, and the students will know that too. Next, as a foreign teacher in particular, you need to understand and respect Vietnamese culture in the teaching environment. Education in Vietnam is very different to the countries where we are from. You need to adapt to that situation. Be respectful to school teachers and staff. If you're not sure about something, ask your academic officer. When you're in the school, always dress professionally. Wear your DTP name badge at all times when you're in the school, so that everyone knows who you work for. For men, you should wear dress shoes, you should wear a smart shirt, tucked in, you should wear smart pants, trousers. For females, you need to wear a smart pants or a knee-length skirt or dress, and a blouse or shirt. No sleeveless tops. When you're in the classroom, often the classrooms are very crowded. There are a lot of students. There's many desks. There's not much space. Don't move classroom furniture around without the permission of the school, because often you share that classroom with many other teachers, and they will have to come in and deal with any changes you've made. Secondly, don't leave the classroom a mess at the end of class. If the students have been very messy, make them tidy up their mess before you leave. And on your side, don't leave behind bottles of water or whatever. Next, when you're in the classroom, and let's say you're teaching using the Classware and your student can't reach something on the board, do not pick up the student, okay? You can help them by maybe dragging the thing down for them or using a pointer or stick to touch the board. Similarly, try to minimize physical contact with the students. Often the students will try to mob you and hug you and whatever, but you don't want to encourage that too much. So try to minimize physical contact with the students. Be patient and understanding to the students. Don't lose your temper with them. Don't send students out of class, and don't use inappropriate punishment. This is very important. If you lose your temper, if you shout, you've already lost the battle. Don't let it get to that point. So, in your class, you will have a co-teacher or teacher assistant. You need to communicate and cooperate with your co-teacher to make lessons run smoothly. Build up a relationship and a rapport with your co-teacher. They know the students better than you do. They can help you. When you have a good relationship with your co-teacher, the lessons will go much better. Every semester, you may have to help your co-teacher to deliver, to monitor, and to mark tests. If you have any questions about that, you can ask your academic officer. So finally, contact your academic officer or academic director if you need, immediately if there is a serious issue in your teaching or classroom management. Please make sure you communicate any problems as soon as you can. Don't let problems escalate or get out of hand until it's too late. The sooner you tell us, the sooner we can help you and we can deal with the problem. If you have any questions about any of those rules or regulations, or you need some help with something, you can contact this email address here. Okay, thank you.